Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 573 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Early the next morning, a single piece of news exploded across the internet, shaking up social media, chat groups, forums. Every corner of the digital world was on fire. Whoa, no way this is real. This is insane. Hey besties, what's everyone freaking out about this morning? You haven't heard? A screenshot of Yenzong's conversation in the Han City 2nd Gen WeChat group just got leaked. It's going viral. And get this, people are saying he may have injected the super soldier serum. What? Show me the screenshot right now. My idol, a genetically modified human. The leaked conversation was actually pretty simple. Qin Yuan had just warned the others not to buy the super soldier serum, saying there could be side effects. It was a kind and thoughtful warning, but the internet twisted it completely out of proportion. In the screenshot, someone had replied, "If you didn't take the serum, how would you know about side effects?" And to that, Qin Yuan didn't respond. He didn't clarify. He didn't deny. He simply stayed silent. That silence opened the floodgates. If you didn't take it, why not just say so? And if you did take it, why are you warning others not to? Are you afraid people will become as strong as you and steal your spotlight? No matter how people interpreted it, none of it was good. It was the beginning of a massive public relations storm. Not long after that, a video blogger dug up an old clip of Qin Yuan back in university. In that video, he had single-handedly fought off more than a dozen attackers behind the school gates, effortlessly. The blogger then showed a side-by-side comparison with another viral video. A man from the US, once diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, who later transformed into a beast, fighting off over 20 people. The similarities were eerie. The blogger didn't offer any opinions. They just let the viewers draw their own conclusions. And sure enough, the internet lit up like wildfire. I knew it. No ordinary person is that perfect. He's obviously been enhanced. What a hypocrite. He gets the serum, then tells others not to buy it, trying to stay on top by keeping others weak. I'm losing respect for him. He's not the person I thought he was. So basically, he's just rich, got the serum, and now he's good at studying and fighting? If I had that money, I could do it too. But others pushed back. Use your brains, haters. You think just a gene shot can make someone like Yenzong? Please. First of all, you'd need at least $10 million just to buy the serum. How many of you even have that? You could work in a factory your whole life and still not afford it. Still, the damage had been done. More and more people started buying into the idea that Qin Yuan was a biological experiment, a product of science, not talent. People began digging into his past. Turns out, back in college, he was just a lovesick loser. In high school, he didn't even look that handsome, just a bit clean-cut at best. Most classmates barely even remembered him. He was just a plain, average nobody, who somehow rose to stardom overnight. Once that narrative took hold, people started saying, it was all hype, all fake, capital-backed PR stunts, a puppet crafted by big money. He was made into an idol because society needed one. And when people stop needing you, you're nothing. These whispers grew louder, spread wider. People seemed to forget. It was Qin Yuan who developed the photolithography tech that boosted the nation's scientific capabilities. It was his companies that donated billions to hospitals, education, disaster relief. But none of that mattered anymore. He was too rich, too perfect. And in this world, success always breeds envy. And now, he had a potential scandal. It was all the excuse the haters needed. The smear campaign gained traction fast. Even his personal life was dragged into it. Accusations of messy relationships, bad character. Now that they had something to latch onto, the critics went all in. Just then, a U.S. biotech firm, KL Pharmaceuticals, made a public statement on Twitter. They claimed, the super soldier serum has been in development for 30 years. We achieved a breakthrough 3 years ago and selected 12 global volunteers from different ethnicities for experimental trials. All subjects were monitored long-term, and the results show no side effects whatsoever. Each modified individual had different results based on their unique genetic potential. Some became all-round geniuses. Others showed strength in specific areas. It varies by person. Due to confidentiality agreements, We cannot disclose any participant identities. The statement was carefully worded, but the implication was obvious. They didn't name names, but everyone knew who they were hinting at. It practically pointed straight at Chen Yuan. And because they didn't name him, people were even more convinced. KL just dropped the hammer. This scandal's confirmed. Bro's so done. Not even the Yellow River could wash this off. Lu Benwei, have never used cheats. Stay strong, Yuan. We came to you in your prime, and we're staying during the storm. Even if you're a superhuman, we still love you. Ugh. Fangirls are so brain dead. It had started from a single screenshot in a private chat. Chen Yuan hadn't even said anything extreme. But with the internet's amplification, it had turned into a firestorm. His fans were splitting. True fans versus haters. The comment wars got brutal. People even started cursing each other's families. It was as if an invisible hand was behind it all. Someone wanted Chen Yuan destroyed. At that moment, bang, a door was thrown open. Chen Yuan Gij. Wake up. Something big just happened. Lin Zhihua burst into the bedroom, jumped straight onto his 5-meter-wide bed, and yanked on his arm. Luo? What's wrong? Chen Yuan mumbled, barely awake, his hair a wild mess. Lately, he'd been sleeping more than usual, likely from overusing his mental power. Someone in your WeChat group leaked your chat log. Ack. She pulled again, this time a little too hard. Thud. The tiny girl lost balance and tumbled right onto him. And before either of them could react, her soft lips landed squarely on his. Chapter 972, Why Be Angry? So soft. Chen Yuan was still half asleep, completely confused about what had just happened. Before he could even process it, another voice called out from the doorway. Big brother? Luo? What are you two doing? It was Wang Mingming, standing by the door, blinking in confusion. And nothing. I just tripped. Lin Zhihua quickly stood up, face red as an apple, flustered and embarrassed. Ahem. Chen Yuan cleared his throat, regaining composure. Luo, Ming, what's going on? Why are you both so worked up this early in the morning? Big brother, check the news. Someone leaked your WeChat group chat screenshots. Now the whole internet thinks you're a genetically modified human. Chen Yuan casually picked up his phone, scrolled through the news, and, sure enough, his name was trending again. Even the American KL Corporation seemed to be subtly fueling the misunderstanding. But despite all that, Chen Yuan's expression remained calm and steady. Not a flicker of anger. As if he'd already transcended public praise and criticism. Who was it that did me this great favor? I was just getting tired of my overly perfect public image. Too positive, too clean. The female fans' favorability was too high. Not good for attracting new, devoted admirers. Now that everyone thinks I'm some biotech freak, the image is shattered. I was actually planning to self-sabotage a little, but someone saved me the effort. Damn, which genius brother understands me so well? Legendary. Chen Yuan smiled warmly to himself. Life really was beautiful. Every time a problem popped up, someone always stepped in to handle it for him. At this point, he was starting to wonder, am I actually the child of destiny? Chen Yuan Gij, aren't you even a little mad? Why are you smiling? Lin Zhihua stared at him, utterly confused. Wang Mingming looked just as puzzled. Why would I be angry? Chen Yuan asked, raising an eyebrow. But the netizens, they're slandering you. And those people in the Han City Second Gen chat group. You led their families to Dun Tian New City to make money. In just 1 year, their assets multiplied. Some even increased by dozens of times. Instead of being grateful, they leaked your private chat. They're a bunch of ungrateful snakes. Zhilua's cheeks puffed out with frustration. Honestly, she looked kind of adorable. Chen Yuan reached over and patted her head. All right, you two head downstairs. Let me brush my teeth and wash up. We'll talk after. Okay, we'll be waiting. The two girls nodded and skipped off. Meanwhile, downstairs, the living room was now filling up. Zhao Yuqi, Qin Bingxue, Chu Yumo, Su Lele, Xiao Ryu, Yuling Shuang, Gao Xianin, Yao Qingtan. One by one, the girls gathered. Luo, is Chen Yuan awake yet? How's he doing? Zhao Yuqi asked, genuinely concerned. I totally understand how the boss must feel, Gao Xianin added, her tone empathetic. As a public figure myself, I've been there. Back when I was hit with scandals, rumors, and accusations of being a homewrecker, my career collapsed. The net backlash was like knives stabbing into me. I even fell into depression. Honestly, I once thought about ending it all. The trauma of online abuse still haunts me. She shook her head. And yet, she had been just a small-time celebrity. Chen Yuan? He was Yin Zong, a household name. A multi-billionaire, a film emperor. His fame, his status, his influence, far beyond hers by 100-fold. So the online backlash he was facing now would be 100 times worse. Insults and hate comments, enough to chill anyone to the bone. But then, Lin Zhilua chimed in. Actually, Chen Yuan Gij didn't seem angry at all. He was smiling when he spoke. And I swear I heard him humming a song when I was coming downstairs. I think it was Marshmallow. Everyone froze. Huh. The girls looked at each other, utterly baffled. Maybe he's just putting on a strong face, so we don't worry? Xiao Ruoyu guessed. I don't think so, Meng Meng replied softly. I've been around him a lot lately. He didn't seem like he was pretending. You can usually tell if someone's forcing a smile. But with him, it felt real. Though, she also added, he is an award-winning actor. It's hard to say for sure. Then, Chu Yumo finally asked the question on everyone's mind. Do you think what they're saying online is true? Did Chen Yuan really inject the super soldier serum? She remembered clearly. Back at the Special Ops compound, Chen Yuan had defeated the military's top warrior, Xiao Yijuan, in close combat, effortlessly. For someone who hadn't even gone through rigorous training, that feat was unbelievable. Absolutely not. Everyone turned. The usually quiet Yao Qingtan had spoken up, firmly and without hesitation. No way. What kind of nonsense is that? You think a single injection can let someone beat a level 5 powerhouse? Don't joke with me. Let me tell you, Chen Yuan's not just anyone. He's also the Eastern Alchemy Master, a top-tier cultivator of Huaxia. He alone has suppressed the Arctic Wolf King, the Goryeo Sword Saint, the Shinobi of the East, the Brahmin Lord, name a powerhouse, and he's defeated them. If the US could really create monsters like him with some serum, they'd have already unified the world. How could we even be having this conversation? Silence. Qingtan rarely spoke much, and when she did, she never raised her voice. But her words left no room for doubt. Over the past month, she'd proven herself a medical genius, curing fevers, irregular cycles, even detecting internal issues at a glance. She rarely engaged in deep conversations, but everyone respected her. And now, her defense of Chen Yuan was fierce. I agree, Xiao Ruoyu nodded. I've known Chen Yuan since college, almost 7 years now. The more I got to know him, the more I realized just how mysterious he really is. His power, his background, it's beyond anything I could imagine. Netizens only see the surface, but we've seen who he really is. They say America made a serum that can turn people into super soldiers. But let me ask you, can they make a Yinzong? That hit hard. Because let's be real, Yinzong's companies had already begun to challenge America's economy. His Panga smartphones, his Koi app, even his War God Temple platform. They were all slowly invading U.S. markets, taking over local businesses, and making huge money off American users. If the U.S. was so capable, why not just claim he's American too? It was clearly all part of a coordinated smear campaign. Right then, Chen Yuan strolled downstairs, wearing a loose bathrobe, slippers on his feet. He looked at the packed living room. Huh? What are you all doing here? His expression? Completely confused. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.